Lesson 1: Celebrating Small Triumphs.
Good evening, Anna. How do you celebrate small achievements?
Good evening, John. I celebrate them with gratitude. What about you?
I often reward myself with a favorite treat. It feels special.
That is an excellent idea. A little indulgence can be motivating.
Indeed. It reminds me that every step counts, no matter how small.
I agree. Small victories build momentum for larger goals.
How do you acknowledge your achievements?
I keep a journal. Writing about them makes them feel real.
That sounds fulfilling. Do you review your entries often?
Yes, I enjoy reflecting on my progress. It inspires me to continue.
I like to share my achievements with friends. Their support is uplifting.
That is a smart approach. Sharing can amplify joy.
Have you ever organized a small celebration for an achievement?
I have. I hosted a dinner with close friends. We celebrated together.
That is wonderful. Celebrating in company can enhance the experience.
It surely does. Laughter and joy are contagious at such events.
What kind of activities do you include in your celebrations?
I usually prepare a fun game or a toast. It adds excitement.
That sounds delightful. Games can create lasting memories.
I agree. It makes the occasion more engaging for everyone involved.
How do cultural backgrounds influence celebration styles?
Cultures vary significantly in their traditions. Each celebration holds unique meaning.
That is a crucial point. I appreciate learning about different customs.
Celebrating small achievements can unite people, regardless of culture.
Yes. Sharing personal victories fosters connection and understanding.
What other ways do people celebrate?
Some people prefer quiet reflection over public displays.
That is true. Everyone has their preferred method of celebration.
Do you find it necessary to celebrate every achievement?
I believe it is vital to acknowledge progress, no matter how minor.
That encourages a positive mindset. It motivates one to strive further.
How have celebrations shaped your outlook on success?
Celebrations remind me that success is a journey, not just a destination.
I love that perspective. It cultivates patience and perseverance.
Have you ever felt unworthy of celebrating an achievement?
Sometimes, I do feel that way. Then I remind myself that all progress is valid.
That is an important realization. Each step deserves recognition.
How can one overcome feelings of inadequacy regarding celebrations?
One can practice self-compassion. Recognizing one's own worth is crucial.
Yes, that can be challenging but is ultimately rewarding.
What advice would you give someone hesitant to celebrate their achievements?
I would suggest starting small. Acknowledging a tiny victory can spark change.
That is excellent advice, Anna. Small steps lead to bigger strides.
In what ways can people make their celebrations more meaningful?
Personalizing the celebration can enhance its significance.
Personal touches make the event memorable.
Indeed. Each individual's journey is unique, and celebrations should reflect that.
What would you like to celebrate next?
I look forward to celebrating a project completion. It has been hard work.
Congratulations in advance, John. That will be deserving of a grand celebration.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate your encouragement. It means a lot.
It is essential to celebrate together. We can elevate one another's spirits.
Yes, we must remember that every achievement, big or small, deserves recognition.
Lesson 2: Fashion Trends and Preferences.
Good evening, Anna. What is your opinion on current fashion trends?
Good evening, John. I have mixed feelings about them. Some trends are appealing, while others are questionable.
That is interesting. Which trends do you find appealing?
I appreciate the resurgence of vintage styles. They bring nostalgia and charm.
Vintage styles have a timeless quality. What about the oversized clothing trend?
I find oversized clothing comfortable but not always flattering.
Many people enjoy that relaxed fit. Have you tried it yourself?
I have tried it. I felt cozy, yet I was unsure about the overall appearance.
Sometimes comfort can prevail over style. What do you think about bold colors?
I love bold colors. They can express personality and creativity.
I agree. Bright hues can make a significant impact. What about animal prints?
Animal prints can be stylish, but they can also be overwhelming.
That is a valid point. Moderation is key with bold patterns.
Exactly. One statement piece is often enough.
What about the trend of sustainable fashion? Do you support it?
I wholeheartedly support sustainable fashion. It is vital for our environment.
I admire your stance. It promotes responsible consumerism.
Yes, we must be mindful of our choices. Fashion can be both trendy and ethical.
Are there any trends you strongly dislike?
I dislike trends that prioritize appearance over comfort.
Comfort is essential, especially in daily wear.
Indeed. Life is too short to be uncomfortable in clothing.
That is a wonderful philosophy. How do you feel about fast fashion?
I am critical of it. It encourages waste and undermines quality.
Many share your concerns. The implications of fast fashion are significant.
Yes, consumers must be informed. Sustainable choices need promotion.
How can fashion brands encourage sustainability?
Brands can prioritize eco-friendly materials and ethical production.
That would attract more conscious consumers. What trends do you hope to see in the future?
I hope for more inclusive sizing and diverse representation in fashion.
That is a crucial issue. Everyone deserves to feel represented.
Absolutely. Fashion should celebrate all body types and backgrounds.
What about technology in fashion? Do you see it as a positive development?
Technology can enhance fashion, but it should not overshadow creativity.
Well said. Innovation has its place, but tradition matters too.
Fashion thrives on a blend of the old and the new, does it not?
Yes, it creates a unique narrative. What fashion advice would you share?
I would advise wearing what makes one feel confident.
Confidence is the best accessory, indeed.
It truly transforms any outfit. What is your go-to style?
I prefer classic styles. They are versatile and do not go out of fashion.
That is smart. Timeless pieces can be styled in many ways.
Do you believe that trends come back after some years?
Fashion often recycles trends. What was once old can be new again.
That is very true. It creates a sense of continuity in fashion.
Yes, and it helps individuals express their unique styles over time.
Fashion will always be an evolving art form, will it not?
Indeed, John. Each individual adds their touch to the canvas.
Thank you for this enlightening conversation, Anna. I look forward to discussing more trends in the future.
Lesson 3: The Planner Dilemma.
Good morning, Anna. I hope you are well today.
Good morning, John. I am doing great, thank you. What about you?
I am quite well, indeed. I have been thinking about planners recently.
That is interesting. Do you mean digital planners or physical ones?
I refer to both. Each type has its unique advantages and disadvantages.
That is true. I prefer using a physical planner. It feels more personal.
I understand your perspective. Writing things down can help with retention.
Exactly. There is something satisfying about pen and paper.
I also see the value in digital planners. They offer convenience and accessibility.
True. One can access a digital planner anywhere with a device.
Additionally, digital planners often have reminder features.
That is a significant benefit. I could certainly use reminders more often.
Do you find it challenging to keep organized with a physical planner?
Occasionally, yes. I sometimes forget to check it regularly.
I can relate to that. Digital planners can send notifications to encourage use.
That feature is appealing. However, I enjoy the tactile experience of writing.
Both approaches have merit. It ultimately depends on personal preference.
Have you ever tried using both simultaneously?
I have not, but I have heard of others who successfully juggle both.
That sounds intriguing. How would one manage that?
One option is to use a physical planner for detailed tasks and a digital planner for reminders.
That method could provide the best of both worlds.
Exactly. It allows for flexibility and thoroughness.
Do you think physical planners are becoming obsolete?
I believe they are still relevant. Many people appreciate the traditional feel.
I agree. Some tasks require a personal touch that only a physical planner can provide.
It is fascinating how these tools evolve with technology.
Indeed, the combination of both methods could appeal to a broader audience.
Have you seen any trends in planner designs lately?
Yes, indeed. Many people now customize their planners with stickers and colors.
Customization adds a creative aspect to organization.
It indeed does, making it more enjoyable for users.
Perhaps an online community could further enhance the experience.
That is an interesting thought. A shared space for ideas and inspiration could be beneficial.
Platforms like forums or social media groups could facilitate that connection.
I would certainly enjoy participating in a community of like-minded planners.
It could foster a sense of collaboration and shared ambition.
That would motivate many to stay organized and achieve their goals.
How do you plan to adapt your planning methods in the future?
I may experiment with a digital planner while keeping my physical one.
An excellent approach. You may find an ideal balance through experimentation.
I look forward to discovering what works best for me.
It seems our discussion has provided valuable insights about planning.
I agree, John. Thank you for the delightful conversation.
Thank you, Anna. Let us continue to explore productive habits in the future.
Lesson 4: Weekend Adventures Without Cost.
Good evening, Anna. How did you spend your weekend?
Good evening, John. I enjoyed a lovely day at the local park. What about you?
I visited a free art exhibition downtown. It was truly remarkable.
That sounds delightful. I love exploring art. What types of art were featured?
The exhibition displayed modern pieces, including paintings and sculptures.
How interesting. I find modern art to be so expressive. Did you have a favorite piece?
Yes, there was a large, colorful mural that caught my attention. It represented community spirit.
That sounds inspiring. Art can communicate powerful messages, cannot it?
Absolutely. It can evoke emotions and provoke thought. What is your favorite weekend activity?
I enjoy hiking in nature. It is refreshing to be outdoors.
Hiking is a wonderful way to connect with nature. Do you have a favorite hiking trail?
Yes, there is a beautiful trail near a river. The scenery is breathtaking.
That sounds enchanting. Nature offers a peaceful escape from daily life.
Indeed. I often feel more relaxed after spending time outdoors.
I agree. It is a great way to clear one's mind and recharge.
Have you ever tried hiking?
Yes, I went on a hike last summer. It was an unforgettable experience.
What did you enjoy most about it?
The stunning views from the summit were worth every step.
Nature has a way of captivating us. What do you think about group hikes?
Group hikes can be very enjoyable. They provide social interaction as well.
I believe they promote teamwork. Friends can encourage one another.
Yes, and it creates lasting memories. Have you hiked with friends before?
I usually go with my family. It is a great bonding experience.
Family adventures are special. They strengthen relationships.
I agree. Outdoor activities often create the best memories.
Where do you plan to hike next?
I am considering a trail that leads to a waterfall. It will be quite the adventure.
That sounds magnificent. Waterfalls add a magical element to hikes.
Yes. I aim to take my camera along. Capturing the beauty is important.
Photography enhances the experience. It allows us to share memories.
Precisely. Have you ever shared your hiking experiences online?
I have posted photos on social media. It inspires others to explore as well.
That is a wonderful approach. Sharing encourages people to appreciate nature.
I believe it fosters a sense of community among outdoor enthusiasts.
Definitely. Many people can discover trails they did not know existed.
Do you think more people should engage in outdoor activities?
Absolutely. It promotes physical health and well-being.
Plus, it provides an escape from technology. Nature is a great teacher.
Well said, John. Nature reminds us to slow down and appreciate life.
Indeed. Each weekend offers a new opportunity for adventure.
I look forward to planning more outdoor activities.
As do I, Anna. Weekends filled with nature are the best adventures.
Lesson 5: Mastering Online Shopping Discipline.
Good afternoon, Anna. How do you manage your expenses?
Good afternoon, John. I try to control my spending habits online.
That is an important skill to possess. How do you limit impulse purchases?
I set a budget for myself before I start shopping. It keeps me accountable.
That is an effective strategy. Do you have a specific amount you stick to?
Yes, I determine a monthly limit. I allocate funds for essentials only.
Smart approach. Do you avoid browsing during sales promotions?
I do. Sales can be tempting and often lead to unnecessary purchases.
That is wise. How do you handle the allure of discounts?
I remind myself that a discount is still unnecessary if I do not need the item.
Very true. Sometimes, people buy just because an item is on sale.
Exactly. I focus on my needs rather than wants during shopping.
What tools do you use to help curb impulsive buying?
I utilize shopping lists. They guide my purchases and keep me on track.
Excellent choice. Lists create a sense of purpose while shopping.
Furthermore, I avoid saving credit card information on websites.
That is a smart move. It prevents instant purchases when temptation arises.
Indeed. I take additional steps by waiting before making a purchase.
The waiting period. How long do you typically wait?
I often wait 24 hours. It allows me to reflect on the necessity of the item.
That is a valuable practice. It often reveals whether the item is truly needed.
I also unsubscribe from promotional emails. They often lead to impulse buying.
That is a great idea. It reduces the constant reminders of sales and promotions.
Additionally, I turn off notifications for shopping apps.
That is very effective. It eliminates distractions and temptations.
I find that distractions make me more likely to purchase unnecessary items.
What about social media? Do you find it influences your shopping habits?
Absolutely. I try to limit my exposure to advertisement-heavy platforms.
It is indeed wise to be aware of advertising tactics. How do you manage peer pressure?
I remind myself that everyone's financial situation is different. I stay focused on my own goals.
That is a grounded perspective. It can be difficult to remain unaffected by others.
Yes, it is essential to prioritize my financial well-being.
Have you thought about sharing your experiences with friends?
I have. Discussing it may help others realize their spending habits too.
That could foster a supportive environment. Together, people could save more.
I believe so. Encouraging one another can create positive change.
What final advice would you give someone struggling with impulse purchases?
I would suggest starting with small limits and gradually increasing them.
That is solid advice, Anna. Small changes can lead to significant results.
I hope many find these strategies useful.
I am certain they will. Thank you for the enlightening conversation, Anna.
Thank you, John. It has been a pleasure discussing this topic with you.
It has been a joy. Let us continue to share our insights in the future.
Lesson 6, Podcasts for New Listeners.
Good afternoon, Anna. Have you listened to any interesting podcasts lately?
Good afternoon, John. Yes, I have explored a few. Do you have recommendations for beginners?
Absolutely. I think Serial is a great starting point. It is captivating and well produced.
I have heard of that one. It tells a compelling story over several episodes, correct?
Yes, it does. Each season explores a different true crime case. It keeps you engaged.
That sounds intriguing. What is another podcast you would recommend?
Stuff You Should Know is excellent. It covers a wide array of topics in an entertaining way.
I love learning new things. The format makes complex subjects accessible.
Exactly. The hosts have great chemistry, which makes listening enjoyable.
Are there any podcasts focusing on self-improvement?
Yes, The Tim Ferriss Show is a fantastic choice. He interviews successful individuals to uncover their strategies.
That sounds enlightening. I am always eager to learn from others' experiences.
Another podcast is How I Built This. It features entrepreneurs sharing their stories.
I would find that inspiring. Hearing about challenges can motivate others.
It certainly can. Success stories often provide valuable lessons.
What about fictional podcasts? Any recommendations?
Welcome to Night Vale is unique. It presents fictional news from a strange desert town.
That sounds fascinating. I love stories that spark the imagination.
It is quirky and often humorous. A great escape from reality.
I would enjoy that. What about comedy podcasts?
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is hilarious. Conan interviews celebrities in a lighthearted manner.
I have heard of that. Humor is a great way to unwind after a long day.
Definitely. Laughter can brighten one's mood significantly.
Are there any educational podcasts you would recommend?
TED Radio Hour is exceptional. It compiles various TED Talks around a specific theme.
That is a great way to gain insights from multiple perspectives in one episode.
Yes, the themes vary widely. It keeps the content fresh and engaging.
What about podcasts centered around personal finance?
The Dave Ramsey Show offers practical advice on budgeting and debt management.
That would be beneficial. Financial literacy is essential for many people.
Agreed. It empowers listeners to take control of their finances.
Are there any podcasts focused on mental health?
Therapy Chat explores various aspects of mental health and therapy practices.
That is important. Discussing mental health openly reduces stigma.
Exactly. It encourages listeners to seek help when needed.
How do you think someone should choose a podcast to start with?
I believe it depends on personal interests. Explore different genres to find what resonates.
That is good advice. Finding a passion often leads to deeper engagement.
Revisiting favorite episodes can also offer new insights.
I find that true. It is fascinating how perspectives can change over time.
Did you know podcasts can also enhance language learning?
Yes, that is an excellent point. They expose listeners to real conversations.
Listening to native speakers improves comprehension and pronunciation.
I believe engaging with a variety of accents also helps.
Absolutely. It prepares learners for real-world conversations.
I am excited to start exploring these recommendations.
You will enjoy them, Anna. They are both entertaining and educational.
Thank you for sharing your insights, John. I appreciate your recommendations.
Thank you, Anna. I hope you find joy in listening to these podcasts.
Lesson 7: The World of Educational Content Creators.
Good afternoon, Anna. I hope you are having a wonderful day.
Good afternoon, John. I am well, thank you. How about you?
I am doing well. I have been thinking about educational content creators recently.
That is an interesting topic. I follow several creators for that exact reason.
So do I. What type of educational content do you enjoy most?
I particularly enjoy science and history. The topics are fascinating.
I agree. Learning about different cultures and scientific discoveries broadens the mind.
Who are some of your favorite creators?
I admire a creator named SciShow. They explain complex science topics clearly.
I have heard of them. Their videos make science accessible to everyone.
Exactly. They present information in an engaging way. Do you have any favorites?
Yes, I follow Crash Course. Their courses cover various subjects in depth.
They do an excellent job with visual aids. It enhances understanding.
I find their style very dynamic and fun. It makes learning enjoyable.
How often do you watch their videos?
I try to watch at least one video each week. It helps me stay informed.
That is a great way to structure learning. Consistency is key.
Yes, it is. I also appreciate how they often provide additional resources.
That is beneficial. Supplemental materials can deepen understanding of the subject.
Have you ever participated in discussions about their content online?
I have. Engaging with others enhances the learning experience.
I completely agree. Sharing different perspectives enriches the conversation.
What do you think about live streams or Q&A sessions conducted by creators?
I find them very engaging. They allow for direct interaction with the creator.
That personal connection adds a unique layer to the educational experience.
It makes learning feel more personal and relatable.
Do you think educational creators are changing how people perceive learning?
Absolutely. They make learning accessible and enjoyable, breaking traditional barriers.
That is a crucial point. Education does not have to be dull or rigid.
Exactly. Creators use creativity to spark curiosity.
Have you ever tried to apply what you learned from a creator?
Yes, I frequently experiment with science experiments at home based on videos.
That sounds exciting. Learning by doing is an effective approach.
It truly is. It makes theories come to life.
What is a recent topic you learned about that fascinated you?
I recently learned about the human brain. It is so complex and intriguing.
The brain is indeed a marvel. Many creators explore that subject in depth.
I appreciate how they simplify such intricate topics for the audience.
Do you think there is a particular age group that benefits most from these creators?
I believe all ages can benefit, but younger audiences are particularly engaged.
That is a valid observation. Young people are often more receptive to new ideas.
Yes, their curiosity drives them to explore various topics.
What advice would you give someone who wants to start following educational creators?
I would suggest finding topics of interest first. Then, explore creators in that field.
Excellent advice. Personal interests make learning more enjoyable.
Additionally, I recommend participating in discussions online. It enhances the experience.
Very wise. Engaging with a community can provide further insights.
Learning from others' experiences is invaluable.
I believe following educational creators can truly transform one's learning journey.
I agree, John. Thank you for this enriching conversation about education.
Thank you, Anna. Let us continue to explore the world of learning together.
Lesson 8: Navigating Neighborhood Conflicts.
Good afternoon, Anna. I hope you are doing well today.
Good afternoon, John. I am quite well, thank you. How about you?
I am fine as well. I wanted to discuss a sensitive topic. How do you handle conflicts with neighbors?
That is an important topic. I believe communication is key in resolving conflicts.
I agree. Open dialogue can often prevent misunderstandings. What approach do you take?
I prefer to speak directly to my neighbors. I find that addressing issues calmly can foster understanding.
That is a wise strategy. Have you ever encountered a specific conflict?
Yes, I once had a disagreement about noise levels. It was quite challenging.
I can understand that. Noise can be a significant source of tension among neighbors.
Indeed. I approached my neighbor and expressed my concerns.
How did they respond to your concerns?
They were surprisingly understanding. We discussed the issue and came to an agreement.
That is excellent to hear. It seems that your approach worked well.
Yes, it reinforced the importance of addressing problems before they escalate.
What advice would you give to someone hesitant to confront a neighbor?
I would recommend starting with a friendly approach. A positive tone can make a difference.
That sounds like invaluable advice. Establishing a rapport is essential.
Absolutely. It helps build a foundation for future interactions.
Have you ever sought mediation in a conflict?
I have not, but I have heard that it can be very effective.
Mediation offers a neutral perspective, does it not?
Yes, it allows both parties to express their views without escalation.
What about situations where the conflict persists despite efforts to resolve it?
If the conflict continues, I believe it is important to set clear boundaries.
Setting boundaries is essential for maintaining peace.
Exactly. This can prevent future conflicts from arising.
How do you feel about involving authorities in neighborhood disputes?
I think it should be a last resort. It can strain relationships even further.
That is a valid point. Authorities may not always understand the nuances of neighborly relationships.
I agree. People should attempt to resolve conflicts among themselves first.
What qualities do you believe are important when handling conflicts?
Patience and empathy are crucial. Understanding another's perspective helps immensely.
Yes, empathy fosters connection and understanding.
Have you had any conflicts with neighbors that you managed well?
I once had a disagreement about shared spaces. I proposed a schedule for usage.
That is a practical solution. Did your neighbor agree?
They did. It led to a more harmonious living situation.
That is encouraging. Cooperation can lead to better outcomes for everyone involved.
I appreciate your perspective, Anna. What if a neighbor is uncooperative?
In such cases, I would continue to be polite but firm. Setting expectations is vital.
That sounds like a sensible approach. Consistency is key.
Indeed, it can eventually lead to improved relations.
What do you think happens if conflicts remain unresolved?
Unresolved conflicts can lead to animosity and tension over time.
That is unfortunate. Open dialogue is essential to prevent such situations.
I hope more people will learn to communicate effectively with their neighbors.
It would certainly lead to stronger communities.
Thank you for this enlightening discussion, John.
Thank you, Anna. Let us continue to promote understanding in our neighborhoods.